Hi, this is International Master Spin Chain with you today, and I'm going to be doing I think annotation, yes, annotation. Okay, and it's going to be extreme. A game that a friend of mine sent me, Len Molden. He is an expert. Oh, not expert. Class A player. He has been expert before though, from Birmingham, BC. So same city and province that I'm from. And this is against Hikaru Nakamura, and this is not a official game. I think it's a simul, so it's not quite as impressive, but he still managed to draw him, which is quite difficult on his own spot. I know I've had a terrible record against Nakamura online, and to draw like probably the best US player right now is no small feat in itself. But the thing that he wanted me to go over is here, Nakamura offered him a draw, which he quickly accepted, not realizing that he is going to defeat the gym only in a few moves. And the idea is, this is just something that, this is going to be like the final position, but let's just go through how it went under. So, let's take a look now. So, unfortunately, I could not figure out how to change the names of this, because I'm not very tech savvy in Blitzen. I was able to input the game and save it, but I did not know how to change the name. So that's kind of sad. So I'm going to put Houdini analysis on and put it here. Okay, so I had actually casted the game earlier, but my internet dropped, so yeah, that was not a fun time to be myself. And I'm just going to go through this game pretty fast, this part. So this is going to be a King's Indian kind of position. Len Molden is white, Hikaru Nakamura is black. And what's going to happen is this is going to be a reverse King's Indian attack. A5 is actually quite an interesting move. I really like A5. The first time I looked at this game, I was like, why do you play A5? But then after looking at a few more times and then analyzing, what happened afterwards, A5 is actually a really good move. We're gonna just take a look at why this is the case. After A5 plays Rook E8, and I guess that a move that might make sense here just takes on E5, pawn takes E5, and bishop A3, giving, well, white has pretty much this square here now, and that is fairly good. But he plays Rook E1 instead, and so Len actually invites Hikaru to push E4 and have this kind of formation. So this is going to be a very, very standard King's attack that Bobby Fischer loved to play back in his day when he was still awesome. He's not so awesome now, though. That's too bad. But, so Queen C2. I'm not sure about Queen C2. I think that Queen is kind of out of position here because it's not really attacking the E4 pawn in any case. After Bishop F5, this pretty much just says, if you ever play F4, I'm going to upson it. So nothing's going to happen there. A4. And H4. So pretty much blocks ideas to play H3. Now, I was looking at this game with Houdini earlier, and Houdini still says H3 is the best move, although I'm not quite sure why. Because even though he says it's slightly better for white, it seems like black has some really scary sacrifice with knight H5, queen C8, and just sack on H3. This looks really, really scary. So I'm not too sure if this is such a wise plan. As you can see, he sort of said no H3 after a while. But just take a look at what happens here. C5. And just plays D5. So I think that Hikaru assumes that if he's not going to play H3, then why bother playing H3? Might as well just close it up, which is the right idea here. Black does not want to open up the queen side, and this is because you want to limit white's counterplay as much as you can. Because once the queen side is open, what happens most often is that it's going to be a race. White's going to aim to take as many pawns as he can, trade pieces off, and black's going to try to mate white. If black cannot mate white, then black's most likely just going to lose because white's pressure on the queen side is going to be too massive. For instance, after playing b6, you can't really take this guy. You got to play c6, and this pawn in the long run is going to be dropped. Like, there's no way you can defend this pawn in the long run. But black's hoping that by the time white gets his pawn, black will be able to mate to white by that time. Okay, so bishop c1, and let's take a look at how this happens. So H3, this is a good move because this forces the weakness of the light squares on the white side. And after a few more moves like this, knight G5, this square on F3 is going to be become very, very weak. And queen d1, trying to stop knight f3. Most obvious move is going to be queen d7. And I'm actually not looking at these moves, I'm just looking at these moves because I went over this game, and this is very logical. What you want to do is you want to eliminate these bishops. So that's black can penetrate on the light squares even more than before. So what happens now is, surprisingly, oh, keep cursing, okay. Surprisingly, white's actually it's -1, and it's actually quite surprising how this game turned out. Takes, 52. So knight b3 and a2. Fortunately, white had to come back. So this is not a good sign for Len here, and I'm very, very surprised he was able to survive in this game. Rook f1, b6, queen 2, rook e8. Okay, so how am I doing here on time? 6 minutes. Okay, so after rook e8, apparently this is still much, much better for black, and we will see why in a few seconds here. Bishop h6, this is all very, very common. Black just trying to mobilize his kingside pieces to the best possible way. And one thing that black doesn't want to do is play f5, because f5, g5, f4 is very slow, and most times is not going to be as effective as using the pieces to do the work. So for instance, now this is an interesting time. Black says that, well, Houdin says that knight f3 is a good move here, and he decides not to play knight f3. Knight f3 is the best move apparently, because I'm just going to take a look at this line for a bit and see why this is the best line. So let's try this. Knight takes, here, here, and of course his queen is attacking this rook, so you got queen b2, and apparently you go queen d3 here. And there's going to be some sacrifices here, but let's say queen b3, queen a6, rook e1, and apparently f5, and this is it's quite problematic, because apparently black can play f4 in this type of game. So always be aware of these kind of moves that don't seem to be that good. I mean, you close up the king side, there's no more attack, but on the other hand, you have your double rooks here, and you can play it for f4. For instance, if you play rook f1, which is not good because of knight takes h2. So, that is quite a problem, and after queen c2, apparently f4 is just a good move here. And if this happens, I mean, if this kind of stuff happens, this pawn, it's definitely going to be good for black. So, now that we use Houdin's help in this method, let's see how Nakamura went about this. So rook f6, he's hoping to mate white here, and unfortunately for white, I mean for Hikaru here, it's not quite as effective as it may seem, because we see that the advantage just slowly goes down. I'm not sure why, because I think that, I mean, this looks really, really scary for white. It seems like black should definitely get attack here, but for some reason nothing really happens here, and white actually gets some play. And apparently rook a7 is good, but let's just see how it went. So you can just take it. He doesn't take it, but I don't think Hikaru is ever going to move this rook. Here, and now white's just better here, because black doesn't really have a mate. And these moves are kind of weird, because I'm not quite sure why he played rook c3 here. It's nothing. It's not that useful, I would say. I mean, all his pieces are covering the e3 f2 already. I don't think white really needs to do anything else other than that. So I think he should just went for rook a7, a4, e5, e6, and just push the pawn down. So if that would have been the best way, as you can see, Houdini definitely thinks no. Black still has some compensation here. So e4, rook f6, e5, f3, king h1, takes e6, and now he says that rook e6 is the best move. Now the thing with rook e6 is that if he takes on b7, he's gonna take back, rook a3, and apparently this isn't that bad. I mean, well, okay, maybe it's talked too soon, because Houdini just told me it wasn't that bad earlier, but maybe just queen b8, and I mean, this is still doesn't look that good, and it doesn't seem like black really has an attack here. But okay, so apparently black doesn't really have attack here. So yeah, this is really, really bad. So ladies and gentlemen, if you do get this type of position as white, know that you're going to win, because black really has nothing to do here. Like, wow, that's amazing. So he pretty much missed his earlier move to play knight f3 and penetrate with his queen, and because of that, he doesn't really have any attack here. That's kind of interesting how it went. Here he just takes it, and rookie takes e6. He apparently just b7 wins, +6. So I'm assuming, well, he has to defend this guy. He can't really defend. Well, the thing is, he can't defend the mate here. I mean, he's just gonna not mate, but he's gonna queen. You can't stop that. So Len missed a very important way to just win the game right here, right now. But the method he chose isn't, well, I guess it's not that good, but I mean, it's not that bad because this is a very obvious move, and most people would have just taken f1 because, you know, it's you got to take back a piece, right? And I'm assuming that's Simul, so he's moving pretty fast, so it's not quite as big of a blunder as it might seem like. But yeah, the rook a3, definitely right, rook e8. And now, as we see here, rook a7, black queen's moved, then b7, followed by rook a8 wins on the spot. Well, it's actually not so clear because according to Houdini, and I'm pretty sure that Hikaru was not going to just go down like, you know, queen d8, b7, this kind of stuff. I mean, this is just, well, I mean, it's, I guess he does have some play because this pawn here is definitely stopping his king from moving. There's knight stuff from him from moving, so he does have some play here with the downward queen for a rook. But I mean, I was actually going to suggest another move here, and the move that's just queen g4, which is kind of cool. For instance, this is the move that's really made me like, whoa, king g7. Okay, yeah, knight 1. So this is the, is knight 1? Knight 1. Okay, so yeah, this is the move that I'm like, whoa, that's a cool move, because, well, you can't take this guy, right? Because of, I mean, it's pretty obvious, it's mate. So you can't really move his queen. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Hikaru would have done this, most likely, and Len was probably going to win because, I mean, you have a few options here. You can either play b2, or I think the most obvious move is just f4, and he takes d1, rook 8, rook f8, takes, queen, and apparently black has a knight and a bishop for a queen. I'll scratch that. He has a ton of pawns for this. So yeah, this would have been a fun game to watch. I mean, I would definitely be excited to see how Nakamura is going to play this game. And he has 2 queens here, so maybe he'll get forked somehow. But yeah, this is what most likely would have happened if the game continued. But at this time, Hikaru offered Len Molden a draw, and fortunately for Len, he accepted the draw because I think he was probably too intimidated by Hikaru, as most of us are, and just accepted it. So it's too bad that he said draw. It would have been a quite interesting game if that happened. And as I'm sure, like, I think that may have happened, because if I assume that Hikaru is not just gonna go down a queen for a rook. But yeah, let's see what the time is. Oh, this is pretty fast. So thank you for watching. That was a interesting game, and it really shows that these type of attacks, even though they are strong and scary looking, black really only has 1 or 2 shots, in this case 1 shot, to nail down the advantage. And because he missed that shot after the game, after what he missed, it seemed like he didn't really have much of a shot to get back into the game. And this is the shot I'm talking about. I'm just going to go back a bit more just to here. After knight d1, the move is just knight f3. And after he did not do that, he pretty much had nothing else but go back. But I think that he could have just played rook a8 as well, keeping the pawn without sacking the pawn, and that would have been good as well. Because really, the thing is, all black needs to do is just delay white from getting this pawn, and he still would have been a lot better. But because it's Simul, I'm assuming that he didn't really think that it was going to be worth protecting the pawn. He probably thought, this type of attack is very, very strong, which it is. But just in this case, it wasn't completely winning. And fortunately for Len, he defended very well. And even though he made some weird moves, it seemed like he did defend really well. And his moves are actually really high up there as well. So congratulations to Len for his draw against Hikaru Nakamura. And thank you all for watching my game. I mean, not my game. Thank you all for watching this game. Thank you. Bye bye.